you'll be able to share. We are recording this meeting, so you'll be able to share this with your staff and your agents in your companies. So I want to say also that again, want to welcome and thank our panelists for joining us, and my cohorts at LeadingRE for joining us. And what we're going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and share the presentation. Close this for now. So can everybody see my slide? Yes. Okay, fantastic. Okay, so what I want to do now is I'm just going to go through this briefly. First of all, thank you for joining us for this presentation today on how to revitalize your company brand and growth. I want to start with introducing my colleagues who are going to be leading some of the conversations today. First of all, we have Robin LaSure, who's our Vice President of Global Communications. And she's been with LeadingRE for many years. I think she's been with us for 25 years now, since she was a little girl. So Robin, thank you for being with us and leading our marketing initiatives for our LeadingRE globally. We also have with us Billy Akofo, who's our Vice President of Global Business Development, that has a very broad reach within the world. He handles and works with our members in Canada, as well as our members in France and Belgium, and many of our members in Switzerland, and also covers the continent of Africa. So Billy's a very busy guy, and he's wonderful to work with. I also want to share with you now, we have our three panelists who are with us today. Billy will give a more formal introduction for each of these panelists, but I do want to share, we have Kevin Orlandi from CentralRE. We have Joana Branquillo from Araya Advisors in Lisbon, Portugal. And then we have Emily Lajoie Reagan from Whistler, Canada, which is in the western part of Canada. So with that, what I want to do is I want to stop presentation here for a moment. And we are going to actually turn it over to Robin LaSure, who is going to introduce to us our first speaker of today. So Robin, take it away.
Thank you. Thank you. It's great to be here and to see everybody today. So thanks for including me. In addition to our amazing member panelists, we wanted to give Stuart Shield a chance to speak to you for just a few minutes. Stuart is the publisher of International Property and Travel, and he's the founder of International Property Awards, which celebrate excellence in the property industry. We have a number of members who engage in the awards and have great success marketing their recognition in these awards. So we wanted to give him a few minutes to tell you a little bit about it, and then we will follow up later with a link. So if you're interested in learning more or possibly entering yourself to be considered for these prestigious awards, you can do so. So Stuart, thank you so much for joining us, and we'll turn it over to you.
Thanks very much, and welcome everybody. I'm based just outside of London. I've just come back from London from one of our judging sessions, where we're actually currently judging the participants, including real estate agents and developers, interior designers and architects from the Asia Pacific region. These are global awards. They've been operating for 30 years. They were called the International Property Awards from the beginning. We have a standardized entry system. This allows for companies to shine at their national level. In the USA being the biggest marketplace, we do it at a state level. So of course, we want to invite real estate companies that consider themselves of a standard that if they won an award, it would be richly deserved. But then what we do with those award winners is our judges then assess those against others in the regions of the Americas, the Middle East, Africa, Europe, and Asia. And what Robin said earlier on about winners that happen to be of the family of LeadingRE, one of our most successful winners, which happens to be a LeadingRE member, hopefully you've all heard of them, and if you haven't, check them out. It's actually Barfoot & Thompson in New Zealand. And you can tell the awards are not biased because I'm a British fella of Scottish and Irish descent, but the UK doesn't do particularly well at the global levels because we are looking for excellent, and that's our simple goal. And Barfoot & Thompson have done extremely well. And I think 3 or 4 times They've actually not only won the best real estate agency in New Zealand, but also came top in Asia Pacific. And you think about the level of competition they would have faced, and then they won the international property accolades. And it was lovely to meet the owner of the company that came to London a few years ago for a whistle-stop tour, 48 hours, all the way from New Zealand and then all the way back with his prizes. So, and what I've been asking Robin to do is to see if we can get the word out to more of the affiliates, because we have a very nice bonus for all of our winners. Not only is winning an award a very valuable independent business tool for you, very effective for getting listings, but it also has this. We happen to publish Emirates Airlines First and Business Class magazine, which is full of real estate. It's called International Property and Travel. You can check it out, ipropertymedia.com. And Emirates is the world's largest carrier of the richest travelers in first and business class. They've got more airlines, A380s and Boeing 777s. We promote all of our winners there. So I'm encouraging you guys to enter from whichever part of the world you're in. And if it's Asia Pacific, you'd have to enter for next year because we've already started judging the entries.
Great. Stuart, thank you so much. And like I said, we will send you all the link to where you could learn more and to enter if you choose. And obviously, Stuart and I are standing by if you have any questions. So thank you so much, Stuart. We appreciate you joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Stuart, for that. That was wonderful. I want to share now that we're going to go back to, if you don't mind, we're going to go back to our presentation. And then I'm going to turn it over to Billy. Billy, it is all yours. Can you?
That is a scary thought, but I will embrace it. Good afternoon, good morning to all. And thank you so much for making the time to join our regional webinar, Canadian and like regional webinar. This is the first one we're having in Q1. We have subsequent webinars too, so we're always trying to make it interesting and valuable to each of our members in different regions. And so I also hope that as you get to meet and interact with each other, you can certainly do so offline as well. So take a look around the room, see a person that's there that you haven't met before, make sure that you reach out to them as well. Today's topic is going to be about revitalizing your company brand and growth. And so we have three panelists. They were introduced before by Jenna, but I will reintroduce them again. Kevin Arlandi from CentralRE Real Estate, all the way from Argentina. Hello, Kevin. We have Joanna Branquinho, also from one of our global members from RE Advisor, all the way from Lisbon, Portugal. Hello, Joanna. And then last but not least, we have Emily Lajoie-Regan from Whistler, British Columbia and Canada. And so each of you, and I think the proper way probably to do this, I have a couple questions that I want to ask our panelists. And so I will ask the same questions for all three of you. And then Jenna, we can just kind of go through, as each of them answer, we can go through their section of the presentation so people can have a visual idea as to what they're talking about. Sounds fair?
Yes.
All right. Well, sounds good. Good. Let's keep going. So I'm going to start with you, Kevin. So the first question, and this is for all panelists, right? The first question I have, and I think this is basically in the mind of all the people in attendance, what were the reasons why you decided to rebrand your company, right? So rebranding is a huge undertaking from any companies, regardless of size. What was the reason that you guys said to yourself, look, we needed to do that? What pushed that forward?
Thank you, Billy. Well, first of all, thank you for leading Real Estate Companies of the World for inviting me here. This decision started like last year after 12 years in real estate industry. We started looking forward for an upgrade of, let's say, an evolution of values of our company. We wanted to adapt to this new global market we wanted to reach new target audience that it was a bit difficult to reach them. This is maybe when you are, let's say, when you are born and you are 12 years old, they're not the same clothes. So we started having that feeling a year ago, and well, we took the decision last year. We were looking forward for different options for we were part of an international brand in real estate. Well, before taking that decision, our CEO Adriana Gargaleone took the decision of calling Dennis Tallboy, that is here in this meeting. Well, because we were not completely to choose any of the three options that we were having. And when we called Dennis, we discovered that leading could be that new option in order to grow, because we were looking forward maybe for 5 to 10 years where we want to be. And well, that's why we started our investigations. Well, Dennis told us that we should have that call with Hannah, so we started through that way. Well, here we are.
Yeah, here you are. Yes, and so I guess from my understanding, the changing from where you were before to becoming a LeadingRE was more or less a prompt to change your branding as well.
Yes. We wanted to be more exclusive. We wanted to go forward for having a better category of clients, of prospects. And let me tell you that it was like certainly more than immediately that when we made this change, we started having those kinds of prospects and clients we were looking for. Where here we are with 6 months, getting into that new horizon that we are looking forward.
Fantastic. Thank you, Kevin, for sharing. Joanna, the same question to you. You went through a rebrand not too long ago as well. What was it that prompted the rebrand for your company?
Hello, everyone, and thank you also LeadingRE and everyone that is present in this meeting. It's very nice to be here. And so basically, I mean, I was already in the company for nearly 8 years, and we did some attempts during those periods, like changing the website, changing the logo, you know, more subtle options for change. But actually, when I bought the company out nearly 2 years ago, I basically felt that we needed to just amplify a little bit more what we were doing, and basically bring that personalized approach that we were doing already in behind of the scenes and show it. So basically, what we decided, and I decided, was we need to do something different so people perceive actually the kind of service that we have. So we decided to go into a more, a little bit more elegant, a little bit more the tone of colors, all of this. And it was most related to the positioning we want to have, and basically the way we were treating buyers mainly. And that was really the main reason. We felt that we had to differentiate and amplify better what we were doing back of the scenes.
So basically a need to really bring forward your services in a more overt way to...
Yes, exactly. Okay. And also because we always did this service more focused on the buyers and sure. People that, I mean, international market and more... Oops, sorry. And basically, we always did that. But when you were coming to our website on where you were seeing our advertisement and the previous brands, that was not immediate. And I think once we did the rebranding, and it was a very, I mean, important decision, because when you change everything, name, colors, logo, everything, you get a little bit nervous, but at the end, it really worked out. I mean, we are very happy with the results, and we are getting very good results as well, as Kevin is saying. So it was worth.
Absolutely. So excellent. Thank you for sharing. Emily, the same question to you. What prompted the rebrand for the Whistler Real Estate Company?
Yeah, so hi everyone, and thank you, Jana and Billy, for having me. What prompted our rebrand was fairly simple. My family acquired the Whistler Real Estate Company from its previous longtime owner at the end of 2020. And shortly thereafter started having conversations with all of the agents to discuss kind of their own goals and what their hopes and dreams were for both themselves and for the company. And one of the recurring themes that kept coming up was the company's visual identity, and that it would be great to refresh that. So as new owners, we wanted to take the opportunity to redefine our values and who Whistler Real Estate was going to be in our next chapter, and also refresh the brand identity and visual identity as well to go along with that.
I remember the red, and then now it's and you know, we can go through some slides as well so people can see a little bit about what the panelists are talking about when they talking about the new brand. But fresh out of my mind, I saw the previous Whistler branding, all the red, and then I think there's portions of it, but now it's like it's completely different. And so you know, the emphasis on the visual identity, I think it's clearly being demonstrated through the efforts you guys put in. So, and I know it wasn't easy, but congratulations to you and to Kevin and Joanna for just going through that undertaking. So, Emily, I'm going to stay with you because you're right there. I'm looking at you now. I'm going to ask you a follow-up question. So when you decided to rebrand, what factor did you analyze for your rebranding? So I think you mentioned some previous things that you wanted to consider, right? Your story and you know, the visual representation of your brokerage. Was there anything else that you thought about highlighting in your rebrand?
Yeah, so one of the main factors that we considered during our rebrand was our location. So we have a relatively small market, Whistler, and a small community just north of Whistler called Pemberton. We don't operate anywhere else. So we wanted to take our brand and tailor it specifically to our market. Our old branding had what I felt was a bit of a 90s feel, and that was probably because that was the last time it had really had a major overhaul. There had been some minor font changes over that time, but it really did need something new. And with a focus on Whistler, we really went down the path of why are people in Whistler, and why are we as agents here, and why are we doing what we're doing? And yes, it is because we are passionate about real estate and love selling real estate, but ultimately we're all in Whistler for the lifestyle. And we are essentially concierges, if you will, for people who are buying new properties and want to understand what Whistler is all about, and the best ski runs and the best bike trails. So we ended up adopting the tagline of connect to something bigger, because we're not just selling real estate, we are connecting people to this whole world and new lifestyle, or not new in all cases, but wonderful regardless.
Well, it will definitely be new for me because, right, I'm not from Whistler, and you know, but I've the time I've been there, it's been wonderful. So, thank you for sharing. Joanna, I'm going to come to you with the same question. So you went also through a rebrand that was not an easy undertaking. You know, what factor did you look into before rebranding?
Yeah, so a little bit, as Emily is telling, we don't just sell houses. We always did a very, very bespoke approach to clients. And basically, we are small, we are a boutique company, and we basically we don't compete by volume of sales and transactions, but by quality and also service. So this is quite difficult to perceive when you want to write this or when you do a brand. And our past brand was like a lion and was calling, the name was very different as well. And basically, I mean, we felt that it was not clear of like clients. We did always mostly 70% of our business was referrals, recommendations, repeated business. But for those that didn't know us, that didn't know that we existed, it was hard for people to land in our website and understand this sense of bespoke approach, knowledge, the kind of service we want to give to people. We are very into honest transactions. We also grab the best properties in the market, not just what we have in our portfolio. And this is not easy always to give this information. So we analyzed, I mean, our competitors. The rebranding company was amazing because they basically interviewed more than 10 of our clients and also partners, introducers, and basically they wanted to know what Oria in the past, in the other name, was all about, and basically what was the difference, you know. And most of our clients are international clients, so they could even tell what would be the difference between other countries when they interact with other agents. And it all came across something a little bit more, again, personalized, discreet, and for high net worth individuals or not, just people that value a different kind of approach and service, and mostly to buyers. So we basically decided to take all our properties from online, advertise the properties we had in our portfolio, and put them inside. So we have like a back website to share, and obviously we have marketing in those and international portals. But basically, it was hard for us to decide in which direction to go, because most of the real estate companies have a strong presence for buyers and sellers. And we decided to go more oriented for buyers, because it's actually where we are really different in the market, because here you don't have the normal buyer agents. Usually people do everything, and mostly sellers. So by doing this, actually we could speak differently to the discerning clientele that we wanted, and that already knew us, but also new ones that when they go to the website, they understand we are advisors. And advisors either for a lifestyle buyer, a first home buyer, or an investor, you know, because we also connect with the best partners here, and we have those connections with, which is a very added value, basically.
So what I'm hearing you say basically is that you took a deeper look on the type of clientele you have, which was a way for you to actually think through your rebrand. So a deeper analysis on your customer, who they are, what they're about, and then use that as, you know, the analysis for your branding. Okay.
Yes, exactly. And also differentiating from the rest of the crowd, because I mean, 98% of the agencies here, they have their listings online. Sure. So people go there and they choose whatever they want. And if they don't like, they go away. We don't have properties advertised online because we don't want people to go away. We want people to ask us advice on what they can buy, what is the best approach, where is the best for them, because they can search online, but it's never the same as having an insider advisor, right? So that was the big thing.
Well, thank you. That's very insightful, Joanna. Kevin, I'm gonna come back to you with the same question, right? So you looked at rebranding. You know, you had a brand before, and then as you rebranded, what factor did you analyze to you know, prior to rebranding? What is it that you wanted the people to know through your rebrand?
Well, let's say that first of all, we started analyzing where we were when we started in real estate, where we were at that moment a year ago, and where we wanted to go. So as usual, as I work together with all real estate agents that we have in our team, they are part of a high performance team, and I told them to analyze where they are today and where they want to be, so you will know what you have to do. And with these things, I was feeling that we were not going to where we wanted to be in 10 years. Maybe you could push it for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, but now you won't get it in 10. So we first of all started analyzing that. We started analyzing that our location here in the city of Buenos Aires was for 12 years in this place. So we knew that our clients were choosing what today is CentralRE. So when we started evaluating the relevance of our old brand, we knew that we wanted to go a step higher, let's say. And we found that Leading Real Estate was a professional brand, and we felt like in home. That's the first thing I felt when we started talking with Hannah and also with Denise and everyone that I met here in this Leading Real Estate Companies of the World network in a really short time that we are here with this new family. And we started also analyzing a new strategy just to make the difference from all the other real estate companies that are here in Argentina. So this was the first time I understood the difference of being a global company or being an international company. I could start feeling this difference since I think it was like a week after we signed, starting with Leading. And I started talking with Beth for having global referrals. And today we're working with a lot of global realtors that need to sell or to buy here in Argentina. Also, we are sending, and in that point, we really understand what is the importance of being part of a global company and not just an international company. So yes, it was like a huge kind of decision of this rebranding, not only about results, it's also how you feel in that family of brand, and Leading makes me feel like home, let's say it that way.
Well, there's two things I want to say to that. So anyone who talked to Jenna always falls in love with not just Jenna, but just with LeadingRE in general. So welcome to the club, Kevin, of the people who interacted with Jenna and now are part of the family. And so, and Beth, our colleague Beth, is also a wonderful resource for anyone. So if you haven't crossed path with Beth yet, I think you're in for a surprise pretty soon. So, Jenna, if we can, I'd like to shift to slide number 2. We're still on CentralRE because we're going to dive a little bit more into the visuals and the co-branding aspect of your brand story. So just to set the stage, every single one of you, Joanna and Emily, have included the LeadingRE brand into your rebrand, right? And you co-branding effectively, whether you're a member of LeadingRE and part of our luxury portfolio as well. And so I wanted to ask you about that, right? There's 2 parts to this question, right? How did you create your brand story? Like, what did you want your story to be? And then part 2 is, how did your membership at LeadingRE fit into that story, right? So you thought about your rebrand, right? So there's definitely a story you want the world to know, you want people to know. How did you create that? What informed that story? And then part 2 to that, how does the co-branding with LeadingRE help you tell that story? So Kevin, the floor is still yours.
Well, I will continue with that word. It's a story. And I think that people want a story to tell. So as you can see in all our graphics that we use in real estate, We want to make sure that people know what is to be local and what is to be global. And that's why we use the word that you can see with Central and LeadingRE, and also showing the rest of Argentina, because especially here, I don't know, maybe in other markets, but here in Argentina, real estate companies are very local. So many times people don't know if they can work with you, if they need to sell property maybe from another country or another part of Argentina. So what we wanted to make sure with Priscilla, that works in marketing with us, was to tell them the story that they can sell their house anywhere in the world, because we are global, we are not international. So we got into a new point that also always people talks about international companies or what you can do in an international way, but we try to put a new word into people's head and go in this global way. So that's why when we started having the first meetings with Hannah, we started feeling that there was something to make the difference when we talk with clients, when maybe you have a competitive listing and you have something different to tell to that prospect, to that client. And it's not the same that you may have in all the real estate market. Sometimes I was feeling before this change that everyone was doing the same thing. Everyone was prospecting at the same way. Everyone was selling that they will sell their house in the same way, with the same marketing material, with the same, it was all the same way. So maybe you were making the difference inside the whole market, but it was starting to get like very, let's say, the same thing every day. And that was not easy. So that's why when we started thinking about this rebranding, we wanted to tell a new story, not
Right.
just the same story that everyone was telling.
Thank you for sharing. And I think part of retelling a new story is part of the objective of rebranding, right? So creating a new narrative when it comes to your brand and your services, as well as the reach of your brand. That's all part of it. Joanna, I'm going to ask you the same question as well. Jenna, if we can move to, I believe it's slide number 6 or 7. Yeah, this one. So, and then we can jump to the subsequent slide as well. Just to emphasize on the same point. So again, rebrand happened.
Yeah.
How did LeadingRE, how did you want to weave the LeadingRE branding into the new story, right? The new visuals you wanted to tell.
So basically, I mean, when I firstly decided to do the rebranding, obviously I thought, okay, we need to tell a different story again. Obviously, people, and I agree with Kevin, people want stories, right? And we wanted to tell the real story first, because it's very important that the brand is aligned with the real part of the story, and do it in a way that would sound, I mean, very exclusive, very prestigious, sophisticated, but still approachable. So, and that's why we have the boat. We don't sell boats, but I mean, we said it's a smooth sailing experience, and basically the narrative would reflect the needs of our clients to be the best addressed possible, and this bespoke service. So we wanted to position ourselves as basically one of the leading real estate advisories in Portugal, operating with international clients. We are also growing in the Portuguese that want this different service as well, but mainly international clients, and someone that wants to look for a strategic advice, a good advice, and a trusted advice. So just after rebranding, there was this opportunity to join LeadingRE. It was like 2-3 months after, more or less. And when I was analyzing the opportunity, I said, like, I mean, it sounds really good because we are positioning ourselves as a leading real estate advisory, and we have leading real estate companies of the world. So the core aspects of the brand, LeadingRE, and I mean the ethos and all of it, it sounded a very, very good match. And I mean, I think for us, it's working pretty well because it was a perfect timing. So it gave a little bit bigger boost. You know, when you rebrand, you always have that sense of, did I do a good job or not, right? Because you don't want people to be, I would prefer the other one. So it's even a bigger responsibility. And actually, I mean, people really liked the new look because it was very different from everything else that is in the market at the moment. And the fact that we don't showcase properties in the website is very, very different as well. And also the fact that we are part of leading real estate companies of the world, it brings us a sense of, okay, I mean, these guys are in the good direction as well, you know? And it opened room for people to look at us. For example, in terms of listings, we actually took the listings out of the website and we increased in 30% the number of listings. And actually, the range of listings was really much higher than we had. Because imagine the high net worth and more higher budget properties that sometimes they don't want to show them in the websites. They found us as a way to promote them with more exclusivity and less exposure. Exposure online, because we also do our channels, right? And the fact that we are also part of a big network as LeadingRE, I think it's giving a lot of trust to sellers, because they don't hear all the time. And the fact that it's not all the companies that can be a member also plays a role, because people feel, oh, I mean, you know, it's something different. And for us, it's also a responsibility to deliver always the best, you know, because we want to honor the brand as well. So even for agents, I think it was important. And again, I think it was really like a perfect marriage, you know, in the good timing.
No, well, thank you for sharing. I want to emphasize on something you just said, like the whole idea of taking the listings off your website. You know, when we talk rebranding and repositioning, that was a bold move. And so
it was a big risk. A lot of people were like, oh, John, are you getting crazy? Now, look, I have to do it. If it goes wrong, it goes wrong. I don't care. But I've been a couple of years behind. I was like, no, we need to do something different, because otherwise we cannot be exactly the way we want in two sides, you know, because the way we want to work and the kind of market we want to work, it's very hard to communicate if we are in the both directions, because then you fall into where everyone does the same. And that was the reason. And actually, the number of very good listings increased dramatically, because I think it's obviously then you need to work as well. It's not enough to have a good name, a good brand, and all of this. So it's like hiring your family member. It's not enough. They need to be good, right? So and they need to be delivering. But at the end, so far, the impact is very positive.
No, thank you so much. That is very interesting. That's one fact I didn't know about your rebrand. And now I feel like, you know, I hope everybody is taking some interesting notes, because those are things you don't hear from a rebrand story everywhere. So, Emily, I'm going to come to you. And Jenna, if we can go, I believe it's slide number 9. So you went, you know, you talked a little bit about, one more, there we go. You talked a little bit about getting into the story of Whistler, right? Retelling the story. And so the same question to you is, you know, or more importantly, how did LeadingRE and Luxury Portfolio factor into the story you wanted, you know, your general audience and the people you're looking to serve to know?
Yeah, so the Whistler Real Estate Company has been a member of both LeadingRE and LPI for a number of years. And during the rebrand, we did take the opportunity to take advantage of the fact that we are hyper local and tailor our branding to our market. But being a member of these networks also allows us to compete on the global stage, and to have a leg to stand on with the larger brands that do operate in the same markets that we do. So it kind of allows us to have the best of both worlds, cater as much as we can to our local market, but still be able to connect and market our properties on the global stage, which is wonderful. And then in terms of the story we were looking to tell, we wanted to create something that both paid homage to our history in Whistler. We were founded in 1978, where we were the original real estate company in Whistler. To this date, we are still the market leaders, with about 40% of the market share. So we really wanted to speak to that history and that quality of service in our market, but also we wanted something that would carry us into the future. So something that was both kind of classic and classy and sophisticated, that would help bridge both history and future. And then we also wanted to do something that was quite professional and polished and simplistic, but also played into the fun kind of après ski culture that we have in Whistler. So to that end, as Billy mentioned, we added a few more colors to our brand. We added some simple as well as some kind of more interesting, fun fonts. We also added some badges to the mix. A little bit of that old school ski culture. When you go to a ski resort, you grab a badge and you put it on your backpack or what have you. So we really leaned into that. And I think what we came out with was a really good balance on all of those dimensions.
No, my only request to you is at some point I need to find a way to get one of those badges.
We actually made some of them, so I can get you
Yeah,
some.
so I would love to put that as a patch, and I think the message definitely conveys, the intricacies of saying connecting to something bigger. And I think that's, yes, it's part of your rebrand, but I believe it's the same sort of thread that goes through, Joanna's company to Kevin's company as well, that they wanted that aspiration, right? To communicate that, look, we may be just a local real estate company, but what we do and what we're trying to do is so much bigger than us. It's bigger than, our previous value proposition. We are looking ahead towards something, and we want to invite you to join us on this journey. And I think all three of you are communicating that really well. And so, again, I don't know how you guys did it, but you did it, and it's showing out, in most wonderful ways. A couple more questions for you, Emily, since you're here. I'm just gonna go to you. It's basically summarizing two questions at once. So, so you thought about the rebrand, you went through it, right? And so, yeah, it happened. How did you decide to promote it publicly, right? Well, even before you answer that question, how long did it take, right, for the rebrand to happen? And so that happened, and then how did you decide to share? Now it was ready. How did you decide to share it to the world? Was it special advertisement, social media, editorial? What were the venues that you utilized for it?
Yeah, so overall, the process took about a year and a half from kind of our initial meeting with our creative agency of choice, or selecting a creative agency and then meeting with them, and then launching. We started in June 2021 and launched in November of 2022. And in terms of how we went into the world with the message, we started with our agents, and we had an internal launch event to present the branding to them. And then we created a new corporate video just to promote the new branding and how our brand has evolved kind of along with Whistler. We've grown and changed, and Whistler has grown and changed, was the story we told with that. We did a bunch of promotion on social, some local publications, and yeah, we are, I believe we entered, or maybe we were planning to do it this year, into the LeadingRE marketing contest as well, just to get
Hey, yes.
some eyeballs on it from a network perspective, because we did work really hard on it, and we're excited about it and love to show it off.
We'll do. And we will love for you to show it off too. So, Joanna, the same question for you, going back to you. You went through all that journey to rebrand. How long did it take you guys to do it? And then once it was done, what channels did you decide to, basically disseminate your new?
Yeah. So basically, this was a bit insane timing, because when actually I was starting thinking about it in December 2022. Yes, 2022. And then there was a magazine in the next slide that it was Essential Business. That was a magazine here in Portugal. Not very large, but quite interesting. That they knew we were wondering to do a rebranding, and they said, okay, we will do an edition, and we would love to have your rebranding here and to be the cover. And then we were like, okay, but that is like in 5-6 months. And we were just about starting, And then I was like still choosing the company to work with, and the rebranding company. And then I spoke with them, and I knew this girl for a while. And I sat with her, and I said, look, we have this opportunity. I'm decided to rebrand the company, but we have a tight timing. How do you feel about it? And she was like, okay, you're crazy, but I'm also a bit crazy. So I think we can make it, and I can put a team just working on you. So it was a little of, induction, but at the end, it took almost like 5 months. And then, more 2 months to finalize the remaining stuff. But actually, it was it was really hard work from their end, and also from our end, and from me, because we had to change all the story, all the marketing, all the website, the tone of voice, all of this. But they were amazing, and basically the team was very, very dedicated, and we were having a lot of calls, a lot of meetings with the team. I had 2 people in the team to actually took care of the process with me. Yeah. And at the end, we did the launch in the magazine, Essential Business. We also did an event, like an internal event for the company. And then in September, so around 9 months after, we did a launch event in the office for, partners, clients, and all of this. It was around 100 people, just more close people. And then we did also a video that it was a really, really good impact. We did a professional video to actually, show what we were doing, what was our positioning. And we also applied for the contest, for marketing contest of the video. So let's see what comes out. And in social media, but the video was a big thing, because we also did a tour with LeadingRE companies in the US last year in summer, and we took the video, and I think it was one of the best things that we did, was the magazine, obviously, because it tells the story. Sure. And why did we do it, and how did we do it, and the focus and all of this. And then the video is very visual, so people can actually understand very easily what it is about, and can get the main ideas. So yeah, I think it was the main topics that we covered.
Awesome. So we went Whistler. It took them over a year, and then you guys did it in 5 months.
Like 6, 7 months. Yeah, it was really like.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for sharing. Kevin, going back to you, how long did it take you guys to fully rebrand? And, what ways did you decide to share your new rebrand in what ways did you decide to share your new rebrand to the world?
Well, first of all, I started with my fingers, taking months. Let's say that the full process was about 6 months.
Okay.
The first kickoff idea, let's say this way, that was from Victor and Adriana, our CEOs, was like a year ago before we started this rebranding, because we were renewing all our office. We make it all new. If you want, also you can see it in our videos. You can see all the full office. And there was when we started with that kind of idea. And when we met and we started talking about, and we say, okay, let's do it, let's rebrand ourselves. We have the first 90 days that were really crazy, because we were coming from from an international brand, and we needed to change everything to this new brand. And we have more than 60 realtors in our team. So there was a lot of things to work on before having that rebrand kickstart. So we work on doing a smooth and effective transition. I think and I feel that maybe our team was feeling the same thing that we were feeling at that moment. Well, we worked a lot with recognized exhibitions of real estate. We work a lot with social media, with SEO, with SEM, website. We work, first of all, as I told you here from the office, we needed to tell all our clients and prospects that we were now leading real estate companies of the world, and now we're telling them we're Luxury Portfolio International. And so we started from our local, let's say it, from our location, and we started going around this kind of exhibitions that are from real estate. We do it in the biggest way we could do it, because we wanted to make sure that people should know what we are doing. We were making some noise, let's say that way, throughout those exhibitions. Also, we worked a lot with graphics in our mobile. Here we have a card that is from the company. It says leading real estate companies of the world, Luxury Portfolio International, Central, with the world. We also worked with magazine and newspapers. Victor has some press meetings also with Forbes here in Argentina in a real estate summit. So we made it like from 0 to 100 maybe in less than a second. And well, we continue working on that, because once you get that kickstart, now you have to keep on that upgrade now that you are. And well, also some with personal videos, sports like golf or polo. We are working with those kind of sports, sponsoring those kind of sports, and also going to special marketing material that, well, if someone is going to the Limitless conference, you will see them there, such as folders, letterhead, corporate envelopes, our business cards. We work it also from there. It says leading real estate companies of the world, and now we added the Luxury Portfolio International. So we got until, I think we don't have any point that we haven't touched with getting this rebrand, promoting this rebrand. And well, here in Argentina, we're making noise. So I think we're doing good things, and we go every day doing it better and better. I'm so glad I have a great team here at Central that makes me every day be better and to work on these kind of things, because we want all Argentina to know what is leading real estate companies of the world, and now Luxury Portfolio International.
That's amazing. We have maybe a couple minutes left on the webinar. Some couple closing thoughts before thanking all of our esteemed panels here. I think, you know, rebranding is about storytelling. It's about choosing to tell a story. It's about continuing to tell, you know, or maybe retelling a new story, right? And making sure people and sharing that new story to the world. And I think one of the things that you saw, hopefully, with all of our panelists is that they're very passionate about who they are, their identity, and the story they want the world to know about them, but also the network that they affiliated with. So with that, I just want to say, Joanna, thank you so much. Emily, Kevin, greatly appreciate your insights. Thank you for sharing your story with us. Thank you for being such engaged members. And then in closing, everything that they shared and some of the things that they haven't been able to share just because of time will be shared with you. So you will be able to see some of the branding videos that they talked about. It will be sent on the follow-up email from my esteemed colleague, Jenna Coleman. Jenna, I will relinquish the floor to you for any other closing thoughts that you may have.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Billy, it was fabulous. And to the speakers, thank you very, very much for joining us. You all were wonderful. It is amazing what you've done with your brands. Again, to Billy's comment, you will receive a copy of the slides, plus you will also receive a video from each of these panelists on the whole rebranding story. You will also receive their contact information in case you would like to reach out to them directly. And also, if you're joining us in Las Vegas for the annual conference in under 2 weeks, you will also see this branding featured there, as well as some of our winners from around the world in the marketing contest. So with that, thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you for joining. And I'm sorry we don't really have time for questions, but you will have the contact information and you will be able to contact the panelists directly. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Cheers.
you. Have a wonderful day. Thank you. And thank you to Stuart as well for joining us.
Yes.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you, Billy. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Have a wonderful day.